Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Vihari Ju ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudeva ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtara Shata Shishimad Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Shri Rupa Godia Guru Varga ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dasa Gunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. The 125th Vyas Puja Maha Mahotsav of Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. And all the devotees who are observing this auspicious Tithi ki Jai. Shri Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Swaparshad Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat pranams. 1 second, just opening up. Okay. Haribo, Rukmini Didi, and Rup Manjari Didi, and Nitai, and Raseshwari Mataji, Champak Mataji, and everybody else who's watching. I see there's a few other people there. Dandavat pranams to all of you. So we are continuing on with this beautiful book, A Life of Devotion, written by Devamayī Mataji, the mother of Rukmini Didi and Rup Manjari Didi, who are both here with us. And yeah, we're continuing on from chapter 3. We read chapter 1, chapter 2. Now we're continuing on with chapter 3. And I've gotten some email requests from devotees that I continue reading this book all the way till we reach the end, to not stop. And so I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to read through the whole book. It will take When is Kartik? Kartik is, just looking at the calendar, Kartik will be in 10 days from now. So that should give us enough time, I think, to finish reading it before Kartik starts. So, yeah, all right. Oh, and right now we'll read from, Life of Devotion, and then afterwards, I'm going to, if anybody has to go, because we'll probably finish at around 8:30, which is the time we usually end our program. But at that time, I'm going to start singing a very long, but amazing, beautiful kirtan by Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Goswami Maharaj, called the Shri Gaur Gopal Prashasti. Glorification of Shri Gaura and Shri Gopal, also translated by Devamayī Mataji. So, okay, let's start. Okay. Just share my screen. All right. Haribol. Hey, Dad. Haribol. Okay. And Mom, if my mom's there also. Pranams to you both. My dad read this whole book, Life of Devotion, when he was here in Navadvip just last, is it last year or is it this? Yeah, last year. No, it was this year. It was this year after Gopurnima time. Okay. Also, if anybody who comes to India, who comes to Navadvip, and they want a copy of this book, yeah, it's available. You can have a copy. There's a bunch of copies here. My copy is in Mayapur right now, though, so I have to go get it. I'm going to go today for the festival. There it is, chapter 3, Service of Shri Guru. Okay, I'm just going to read the last. I'll just read the last section of the previous chapter. I like to do that. So, okay, taking notes. Whenever Srila Prabhupada gave lectures, Sri Pranavananda Prabhu would take extensive notes. Later, from these notes, full-fledged articles would be written and published. Srila Prabhupada was not... So whenever we see an article by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we should understand that that actually came from the notes of Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada was not even always available to give dictation. One day in the temple room of Sri Chaitanya Math, Srila Prabhupada was shooing the pigeons away. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu appeared there to make good use of Srila Prabhupada's time. Srila Prabhupada understood this, and he said, "I know you are working very hard and taking great trouble upon yourself. But what can I do? You cannot have me at any time you like. You have to write when I can. You have to write when I can dictate." So, as Srila Prabhupada walked up and down shooing the pigeons, he gave dictation, and Sri Pranavananda Prabhu took notes. All right, so now chapter 3, Service of Shri Guru. Haribo Vidyalala Siddhidi. Okay, Vidyalala, I will get back to you on that later. Okay. Service of Shri Guru. So Srila Bhakti Purī Gosvāmī Maharaj, he said, "All difficulties in our service were made worthwhile 1,000,000 times over when we could see the signs of pleasure on the affectionate lotus face of Srila Prabhupada." Haribo, Champak Mātājī, and Nri Hari Prabhu, and Pavatarani Mātājī, Hare Krishna. Okay, so beginning, chapter 3. For those who were not present at the time, it would be hard to imagine what a lively center of preaching the Godia Math became in the 1920s. Srila Śrīla Mahārāja later reminisced. Srila Śrīla Goswāmī said, "Srila Prabhupada was delivering a lecture to so many gentlemen who had come from Krishnanagar, educated persons. In another place, the elderly Shripad Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj was giving a lecture. Somewhere else, Shripad Bhakti Sarup Parvat Maharaj was found writing receipts, collecting funds from the people. It was a hive of activity. I felt a transcendental, happy atmosphere there." The Gaudiya Math had embarked on a preaching program that was going on around the clock. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu recalls that lectures were being delivered under the direction of Srila Prabhupada at meeting halls, temples, colleges, universities, in people's homes, in open fields, everywhere. It was the beginning of a new era in the spiritual life of Bengal, an unprecedented one. He says, "It was a new experience for everyone, and the kind of enthusiasm we felt in those days cannot even be described. We all worked all day and hardly slept at night. At the center of this was Srila Prabhupada himself, who seemed to be everywhere. He worked harder than anyone else, yet he was the least tired. Even at 10 o'clock at night, Srila Prabhupada would be sitting on the upstairs veranda instructing his disciples. A passerby would walk down the street and Srila Prabhupada would shout, "Who goes there?" The passerby would reply, "It is I." And Srila Prabhupada would say, "But who is I? Is I the body or the soul?" Then the Harikatha would start. The passerby would forget about his journey. He'd be mesmerized by Srila Prabhupada. Such was Srila Prabhupada's potency. Srila Prabhupada's preaching was extensive and all-encompassing. His concepts addressed every aspect of life and every issue of society. So many things were being attacked, and many people responded unfavorably. Then there was more preaching to conquer these new responses. Srila Prabhupada's disciples would be asked many questions, and they would come and report them to Srila Prabhupada, which only inspired him to give more lectures and publish more articles. That's how our acharyas preached. They were fearless like lions. They would not that he wrote all the articles himself. He had his group of writers, just as he had his group of traveling preachers. In the forefront of the group of writers was Shri Pranavananda Prabhu. The flame of preaching was burning inside Srila Prabhupada night and day, and he was always coming up with new ideas. Shri Pranavananda Prabhu remembers how Srila Prabhupada would discuss these ideas and then say to him, "It would be good if an article were written." Srila Prabhupada would not directly say, "Please write an article about this." He would just say, "It'd be good if an article were written." Publishing and printing Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada wanted the Godia Math to edit, publish, and print all the scriptures that are the very basis of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. So, in addition to Bhagavad Gita, he wanted to print Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Sri Brahma Samhita, etc. In his lectures and articles, he frequently glorified Srimad Bhagavatam. In a well-known article titled Vidya Bhagavatavadi, Bhagavat is the highest limit of knowledge. In that article, he wrote, "Bhagavad Gita is a primary book in the school of spiritual education. In this book, there are lessons for primary students. After finishing elementary studies and practical studies, one has to reach for higher studies, and that is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam has comparative studies. If one can complete comparative studies, one can become a Bhagavat, a self-realized soul. When Bhrigu Muni wanted to know who is the highest among Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu, he found by comparison that Lord Vishnu is the highest. Bhakti Yoga, the best merchandise. But one has to study Bhagavad Gita first. Otherwise, one cannot understand comparative studies. Without studying the Bhagavad Gita, one cannot distinguish between the path of devotion, which is based on Sharanagati, and the paths of karma and jnana. A clever businessman keeps all kinds of things in his shop, but he shows the customer the less expensive things first, and at the same time praises them. Whatever thing he shows the customer, he praises that thing. By doing this, the businessman understands what kind of customer he has. Does his customer want the best article, or is he influenced by hearing the praise of ordinary articles? At the end, he shows the customer his most expensive and best article. He keeps that thing separate because he knows that not everyone will buy that. Bhagavad Gita has done the same thing. In this book, the paths of karma, gyan, and yoga were shown first, but they were praised. But at the end, the most precious thing was shown. This was shown to the most intimate friend. This is Bhagavad Gita 1864, so one of the last verses of Bhagavad Gita. Sarva guhyatamang bhuya shrinu me paramang vacha ishtosi me dridam iti tato vakshyami te hitam. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you the most confidential part of knowledge. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. That most confidential instruction is the instruction of devotion, the instruction of Sharanagati. Manmana bhavamar bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evaishyasi satyang te pratijane priyosime sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. That's Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verses 65 to 66. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Srimad Bhagavatam, the highest scripture. Bhagavad Gita has 700 verses, and Srimad Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses. Srimad Bhagavatam is Vyasadev's unadulterated commentary on Vedanta. Rukmini Didi, yes, this is also streaming on Facebook. Correct. Yes. So Srimad Bhagavatam is Vyasadev's unadulterated commentary on Vedanta. The doctrine and the commentary were written by the same person. It contains verses which can give the living entity all perfection. That is why there is no need for any inferior scripture in place of Srimad Bhagavatam. By reading or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the devotee can capture the Supreme Lord immediately within his heart as the most worshipable object without any obstacles. Only those who listen to the topics of the Lord and are fortunate souls can subdue the Supreme Lord by their love. How can we subdue the Supreme Lord by our love? Only if we listen to the topics about the Lord. Only then are we fortunate and can bring. When Mother Yashoda wanted to bind her child Krishna with a rope, Krishna, the infinite personality, could not be bound because of the insufficiency of the rope. But because she was so eager to serve him with affection, Krishna was subdued by her motherly love. There is a lot of opportunity in this world to hear topics of relative truth, but there is a great famine of Harikatha. That is why those who are eager to hear Harikatha attain the eternal truth as the worshipable substance of transcendental senses, having realized the transitory nature of material topics. Those who have attained perfection in spiritual life, who are liberated, whose actions are not limited by the world of renunciation or enjoyment, who are not being oppressed by the influence of their bodies, their minds, or the external world, who are giving instructions having attained a state of spiritual trance. We hear about such liberated personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the lamp of knowledge. It is the sun among Puranas. It is a nectarian fruit. It enchants the soul with Harikatha. Wow, what a beautiful description. Beautiful article. So Srila Prabhupada, that's the end of that. So Srila Prabhupada gave his writers and editors the arduous task of editing, publishing, and printing Srimad Bhagavatam. While he wrote the commentaries himself, his editors had to edit and proofread the whole book. They also had to write the summaries of each chapter. The foremost among his editors was Sri Pranavananda Prabhu, who wrote most of the summaries, along with Srila Shoti Maharaj and Sri Naveen Krishna Vidyalankar. We've been taking so much help from those summaries in our Chaitanya Bhagavat readings every day. Actually, I don't know what I would do without them. They're so helpful. So that's all thanks to Sri Pranavananda Prabhu, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, along with Srila Shoti Maharaj and Naveen Krishna Vidyalankar. So the printing presses were busy night and day. Daily, weekly, and monthly magazines were being published, as well as books and pamphlets. Can you imagine? Daily, weekly, and monthly magazines, plus all the books. My God. After Srimad Bhagavatam was published, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Brahma Samhita, and other books were also published in Bengali. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu had a habit of writing and proofreading until very late at night. He found these quiet hours late at night very convenient for his particular kind of service. Oh, and Rukmini Diddy's adding it typeset by hand. Yeah, and also they didn't have computers, so you could just like quickly type things up or whatever. They had to do everything completely manually, and typesetting by hand, that's a ginormous task. Yeah. My God. Unfathomable. You know, most of the publication sevaks that I serve with also work pretty late at night. Because, yeah, nighttime is the best time, really. It's quiet, there's no disturbance, and I don't know, I focus best at night also. Anyhow, okay, sorry. Supervising the printing press. Apart from his editorial service, Sri Pranavananda Prabhu had to supervise the overall work of the printing press. The printing press was always busy, as various books and magazines were always being printed, and they had different deadlines and sometimes different destinations. Srila Prabhupada relied on Sri Pranavananda Prabhu to make sure that the work of the printing press went smoothly and in a timely manner. So he did everything. He wasn't just involved with getting all the text ready for publishing, but then also all the printing and the distribution, making sure everything went, all the printing went smoothly. That's the transcendental crew of Srila Prabhupada. No hard work seems strenuous in the association of Srila Prabhupada. There was always a happy atmosphere in the Math. Even though there was austerity and strict discipline, Srila Prabhupada's deep affection for his disciples and the affection they had for each other made life in the Math very joyful and inspiring. Srila Prabhupada knew about the special talent or propensity of each of his disciples, and he engaged them likewise. The sannyasis such as Srila Śrīla Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj, Srila Gosvāmī Maharaj, Srila Ban Maharaj, and Srila Bharati Maharaj were always traveling, and so were some of the brahmacharis, such as Sri Hayagriva Brahmachari, that's Srila Bhakti Madhav Goswami Maharaj, Sri Radharaman Brahmachari, that's Bhakti Kumud Santa Goswami Maharaj, Sri Sajanananda Brahmachari, I don't know who that is, and Sri Siddhaswarup Brahmachari, that's Srila Bhakti Sri Rup Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj, who are all known for their preaching and management abilities. Others were always with Srila Prabhupada, like Sri Kunja Vihari Vidyabhushan, that's Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj, Sri Ananta Vasudev Prabhu, and Sri Paramananda Vidyaratna. Among his writers and editors were Sri Sundarananda Vidya Vinod, Sri Pranavananda Prabhu, Sri Bhakti Sudhakar Prabhu, that's Nishikanta Sanyal, and Sri Ananta Vasudev Prabhu. Srila Sridhar Maharaj, poet and philosopher. Just checking the comments really quickly. Every now and then I have to make sure. Pradyumna Prabhu and Mantaramurti, sorry, Hare Krishna, Pradyumna Prabhu and Mantaramurti Mātājī, and Sudevi Didi. Dandavat pranams. Okay. Srila Shri Maharaj, poet and philosopher. Even though Srila Shri Maharaj was well known as a prominent preacher, when he found some time, he used to write beautiful Sanskrit poems glorifying the predecessor acharyas. Srila Prabhupada greatly appreciated his poetic talent, which was coupled with his vast scholarship and deep realizations. Around 1935, Srila Shri Maharaj composed a Sanskrit poem glorifying Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which pleased Srila Prabhupada very much. He remarked, "A very happy style." Then he said to Shripad Shoti Maharaj, "This poem is so fine, it is not written by him. It is written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who has come through him. It is to be greatly appreciated." Is it called the Bhaktivinoda Viraha Dwadashakam, I think? I think so. Dwadashakam. Or is it Dashakam? Or Dwadashakam? I don't know if it's 12 or 10 verses. But yeah. Once, Srila Prabhupada said, and there's a beautiful recording of Srila Bhakti Rakshakshira Goswami Maharaj showing that to our Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He explains the I think he goes through the verses. I think he explains the last verse to Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and yeah, it's really sweet exchange. You can see that. Okay. Okay, so regarding that poem, once Srila Prabhupada said to Sri Aprakrit Prabhu, I am satisfied that what I came to say will remain after me. I find in this poem the Siddhanta, the devotional conclusion." Wow, that's amazing. I'm satisfied that what I came to say will remain after me. I find in this poem the Siddhanta, the devotional conclusion. Wow. Srila Prabhupada also referred to Srila Shri Maharaj as Shastra Nipun Shri Maharaj. Shastra Nipun Shri Maharaj. Shri Maharaj, the expert on scripture. Delivering Hari Katha. By the order of Srila Prabhupada, Sri Pranavananda Prabhu gave Hari Katha regularly. Having heard of Srila Prabhupada, many people were coming to the Godia Mat at all times of the day. Hari Katha was going on almost continuously at the Bagh Bazar Godia Mat. Many of Sri Pranavananda Prabhu's godbrothers who joined the Mat after him heard Hari Katha from him, and some of them said that they became devotees by listening to his Hari Katha. Even when he was not formally delivering Hari Katha, he was meeting with visitors who had many questions. This was another reason he had to work on his editing service till late at night every night. Wow. Molasses from Gurudev. Srila Prabhupada was very aware of the personal circumstances of each of his disciples. If anyone was in any kind of distress, he would take personal responsibility for helping them. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu felt that Srila Prabhupada's affection was more deep and all-encompassing than that of millions of fathers and mothers. Srila Prabhupada also used to personally supervise the distribution of prasad. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu was fond of sweets. So Sri Pranavananda Prabhu was fond of sweets. Srila Prabhupada would smilingly call whoever was serving prasad and tell him jokingly, "Here is Pranavananda. He is from Jeshore. You must give him date molasses." Date gur. Jeshore is famous for its date molasses, date gur. Prasadam time was always a happy time. God brothers used to laugh and joke with each other, and sometimes snatch prasad from each other's plates, or give something to others that they knew to be their favorite. All this was done in front of Srila Prabhupada, who seemed most pleased seeing his disciples taking prasad happily. Oh, that's so nice to hear that. Usually when I think of the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I always think of everything being really like strict and intense and but there was also laughing, joking, and like that, all in front of Srila Prabhupada. sweet kirtan singer. Srila Prabhupada was fond of nice devotional kirtan. Every now and then, he would ask Sri Pranavananda Prabhu to sing some kirtan for him. He also wanted Sri Pranavananda Prabhu to sing kirtan at all the Vaishnava festivals, all the big meetings, and special occasions such as the Rath Yatra festival at Jagannath Purī, or during Vrajmandal Parikrama. Among his other favorite kirtan singers were Sri Radharaman Brahmachari, that's Srila Bhakti Kumud Santa Gosvāmī Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vivek Bharati Maharaj, and Sri Swadhikarananda Das Brahmachari, who is Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. I remember hearing about Bhakti Vivek Bharati Maharaj, that he had such a thunderous voice that there was never need for a mic or anything for him. He could just, everybody could hear him, and no matter how big the crowd was, he is. Okay. Meeting with scholars and prominent people. Srila Prabhupada was busy night and day conducting preaching programs all over India, and even outside India, though he himself never left India. At the same time, he was continuously meeting with prominent people who came to hear his discussions and ask him questions. At one time or another, he met with all those who are well known in contemporary Bengal, ranging from Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose to Rabindranath Tagore. He also met with many famous scholars from all over India, as well as scholars, travelers, and Indologists from Europe. Even if some of them came with a skeptical or hostile attitude, after hearing Srila Prabhupada, they were always impressed. To the amazement of his listeners, Srila Prabhupada always approached everyone from their own point of view. Those who came to meet him left with a sense of reverence for his divine personality and a favorable impression of Vaishnavism. This should not surprise anyone, as Srila Prabhupada's scholarship was unquestionable. His logic was razor sharp, and his concepts were deep and sublime, and his expressions were strikingly beautiful. Whenever Srila Prabhupada met with scholars from outside, he wanted Sri Pranavananda Prabhu to be present. So Sri Pranavananda Prabhu heard all their discussions firsthand and took notes. It's like Sri Pranavananda Prabhu did, like Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami Maharaj did everything. It seems like he was he was like an essential key person for so many different aspects, so many different essential parts. Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami Maharaj later said, "I've seen so many scholars and famous charismatic people coming to Srila Prabhupada. Even though some of them came in an argumentative mood, after hearing Srila Prabhupada, everyone became humble and appreciative." One second, I'm just moving this over here. Okay. The living tape recorder for Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Govinda Sahaprabhu. The living tape recorder for Srila Prabhupada. Whenever Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture or answering questions, Sri Pranavananda Prabhu could be seen nearby with a notebook in hands, taking notes. When he, I think also during that time, I'm not sure if it will mention this here, I remember hearing that there is a special form of shorthand for taking notes. So like that they used in the, I'm not sure if Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami Maharaj invented it or what, but yeah, I heard there's like some special form of shorthand. That's how he was able to write everything and not miss anything. So he was known for this, and all his godbrothers, both present and not present, depended on him to record the lectures. This is how all of Srila Prabhupada's lectures were transcribed. In those days when the tape recorder had not been invented. It took an expert note-taker like Sri Pranavananda Prabhu to preserve those priceless words. From his notes, he later wrote full-fledged articles, which were also edited by Srila Prabhupada himself. Srila Prabhupada himself used to say to Sri Pranavananda Prabhu, "Yes, you should take notes, because you will not hear these words again." No one knew then that Srila Prabhupada would leave this world so soon. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada would tell Sri Pranavananda Prabhu, "Show this to Vasudeva Prabhu," because Vasudeva Prabhu also had a good memory and understanding, and he was always present near Srila Prabhupada. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu also sent his notes to Sri Sundarananda Prabhu in Dhaka, who wrote articles from them and sent them back to Sri Pranavananda Prabhu. All these articles were published in the Godia. Oh, nice. Radharaman Prabhu's article, Srila Bhakti Kumud Santa Gosai Maharaj. Remember, Srila Bhakti Kumud Santa Gosai Maharaj was the one that Radharaman Prabhu, he was the one that we read about yesterday, whose parents gave him to to Pranavananda Prabhu. He went to their house and they gave them to the Gaudiya Math. They said, Srila Bhakti Purī Goswami Maharaj brought him when he was only 11 years old. When Srila Prabhupada sent his first representatives outside India to Burma, now Myanmar, in the early 1930s, Sri Radharaman Brahmachari, who is still a young boy, was among them. Srila Prabhupada himself went to the Outram Ghat port in Kolkata to see them off. Wow, Burma, that's so interesting. He commented, "Radharaman is going to a foreign country at this tender age." While preaching in Burma, one day, young Radharaman Prabhu told Srila Bhakti Sudhir Jachak Maharaj, "Krishnadas Kaviraj has said, Jiver Sarup hoy Krishner Nitya Das. The real identity of the living entity is that of an eternal servant of Krishna. But I do not agree with this." Srila Jajak Maharaj became very upset. He said, "Are you crazy that you do not agree with Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami?" Sri Radharaman Prabhu said, "I am going to write an article about this." So he wrote an article and sent it to Srila Prabhupada in care of his editors. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu saw that article and smilingly gave it to Srila Prabhupada. In that article, Sri Radharaman Prabhu had written, "Yes, it is true." Haribol Kishore Prabhu, we're just reading about something. I'll just recap a little bit. So when they were out preaching in Burma, Sri Radharaman, who is, Srila Bhakti Kumud Santa Goswami Maharaj, he was still very young at that time, and he told Bhakti Sudhir Jachak Maharaj that Krishnadas Kaviraj said, "Jivyar Sarup hoy Krishna Nitadas," but I do not agree with this. And so Jachak Maharaj became very upset, and then Radharaman said, "I'm going to write an article about this." And so then he wrote an article and sent it off. Yeah. So Sri Pranavananda saw that article and smilingly gave it to Srila Prabhupada. In that article, Sri Radharaman Prabhu had written, "Yes, it is true that my real identity is that I am an eternal servant of Krishna. But I do not know Krishna at this time. So I have no realization of this. If I say it now, it will only be lip service. But I do know my Gurudev. I can see myself as his eternal servant. By his grace, perhaps one day I will come to know Krishna. Then I will realize my position as Krishna's eternal servant, not before that. Now I see myself as the eternal servant of my Guru. That is my real identity." Wow. Reading this, Srila Prabhupada was very pleased. He said, "Such a young boy wrote such nice things. I will give him my blessings in a letter. Please send it to him." Wow. Grassroots preaching in India. Srila Prabhupada wanted preaching to be the chief occupation of Sri Godia Math. He used to say, "We should go out preaching on foot, in cars, in boats, and even riding camels and elephants." Even though he had the vision of preaching all over the world, he always emphasized preaching in India. He engaged his disciples every day in preaching in the local neighborhoods, towns, and villages. He made them understand that even if one day the whole world came to know about Sriman Mahaprabhu, they would come to India as the motherland of their spiritual life. Therefore, the roots of the devotional tree would have to grow strong. The roots of the devotional tree would have to grow strong, and it would have to be vigorous and extensive in India. By his words and actions, he made it clear that he considered grassroots preaching in India the most fundamental thing, and the books and magazines were the basis. Wow, so that's Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada's mercy on us, that he wanted to make the roots very strong so that we could be brought in and not be misguided or whatever. Like, it had to be strong for otherwise, yeah, everything wouldn't work out. Emphasis on and that's why we have so many of these parshads, all these associates of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, because he trained them up so, like it's all their mercy that we now have a very strong foundation in our line, especially of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and all of his godbrothers. So, emphasis on preaching in Bengal. As Srila Prabhupada had experienced great hostility towards Mahaprabhu's mission in Mahaprabhu's birthplace, Bengal, his greatest emphasis was on preaching in the towns and villages of Bengal. He said, "Let us discuss that subject about which Sri Gaurasundar came to enlighten humankind. Even though we are proud of being Bengali, we are still engaged in material activities. This is such poverty that it cannot be expressed in human language." He also said, every kind and unselfish person in the Godia mat should be prepared to give as many gallons of blood for the nourishment of the spiritual body of each human being. They should be ready to give many gallons of blood for the nourishment and spiritual body of each human being. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu personally heard and noted these words, which he never forgot. Every kind and unselfish person in the Godia mat should be prepared to give many gallons of blood for the nourishment of the spiritual body of each human being. Singing on the radio. Hare Krishna, Mahi Bharat Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams, and Kuruna Didi, Hare Krishna. Okay, singing on the radio. In the early 1930s, Srila Prabhupada instructed his disciples to preach Mahaprabhu's message on the radio. So every Sunday, Hari Katha and Kirtan were broadcast by the Indian Broadcasting Service in Kolkata. Among those who delivered Hari Katha for the first time on the radio were Srila Bhakti Hriday Ban Mahārāja and Sri Sundarananda Vidya Vinod Prabhu. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu sang the collection of verses entitled Gopinath Vigyapti by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It's Gopinath Mama Nivedana Shuno. At this time, Srila Prabhupada was in Darjeeling, North Bengal, but he and his other disciples heard the broadcast from there in Darjeeling. On Srila Prabhupada's return, he requested Sri Pranavananda Prabhu to sing Gopinath Vigyapti again for him. Traveling with Srila Prabhupada. Most of the time, Sri Pranavananda Prabhu stayed at the Bagh Bazar Godia mat, delivering Hari Katha, editing and writing for the Godia, and for various books, and also supervising the printing press. But every now and then, Srila Prabhupada wanted Sri Pranavananda Prabhu to accompany him on his travels. During these travels, Srila Prabhupada expressed his feelings about how the preaching was going at different places and also his desires for the future. Many aspects of his inner concepts were revealed at that time. As usual, Sri Pranavananda Prabhu took notes and wrote about them in the Godia. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that in the Godia magazines. I think I have PDFs of the Godia magazines, but it will talk about different preaching activities that they did also. it's really nice to see how all these words that we were reading, all these articles came about. Though it was, how closely involved was Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami Maharaj to making, anyway, sorry. Okay, the Godia cherished by Srila Prabhupada. I just want to show you one really quickly, a book that I have. It's this is the Godia Prabandhavali. These are all the main Godia, all the articles that were written in the weekly Godia. There's another book I have. This is the first part, and I have the second part as well. But yeah. So we're just about to read about that. That's what I wanted to show you. Okay. Okay, so the Godia cherished by Srila Prabhupada. The Godia magazine played an extremely important role in the Gaudiya Math's preaching mission. Hundreds and thousands of people all over Bengal, and many Bengalis living in other parts of India, would read the Godia. Many people came to hear lectures at the Math because they had read the Godia. Shri Pranavananda Prabhu understood Srila Prabhupada's vision of the Godia as the backbone of his preaching. It's a weekly magazine. So he and a few other devotees worked very hard to bring forth Srila Prabhupada's concepts on the pages of the Godia. Many others worked hard to continually increase its circulation. Srila Prabhupada appreciated all of this hard work by his disciples. He wrote, "Many sincere and qualified people have invested gallons of their blood in the Godia magazine and the Godia mission. When the Godia reached its 15th year, Srila Prabhupada wrote, 'The Godia has been singing of the inconceivable beauty of Goloka. For the last 14 years, it has served the Godia mission with great determination, just as Lakshman served Ram.'" Wow. That's amazing. The Godia has been singing the inconceivable beauty of Goloka, and it's been serving the Godia mission with great determination, just as Lakshman served Ram. Jai. Godia, the weekly Godia ki Jai. I want to see if we can find that first article that Srila Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami Maharaj wrote in here. I forgot what it was called though. Anyways, I'll look after. I wanted to do that yesterday, didn't get around to it. Preachers sent to the West. In 1933, the book Sri Krishna Chaitanya by Professor Nishikanta Sanyal was published in English in a beautifully bound edition. It was Srila Prabhupada's desire to send a preaching mission to Europe now. Srila Prabhupada wanted to preach Mahaprabhu's message all over the world. Oh, I think when I stayed at the Bhaktivedanta Research Center with my father, my dad, Rishabdev Prabhu, and I think he was reading this edition, the 1933 edition, like this book at the Bhaktivedanta Research Center called Sri Krishna Chaitanya by Professor Nishikanta Sanyal. I remember him reading that book, but I didn't realize it was such a prominent book. I didn't realize it was published during Srila Saraswati Thakur's time either. It's really neat. On March 18th, 1933, Srila Prabhupada, so on March 18th, 1933, Srila Prabhupada gave instruction to Srila Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Hriday Ban Maharaj, and Sri Samvidananda Das Bhakti Shastri as they were departing to preach in Europe. At a meeting that was arranged to see them off, Srila Prabhupada gave them a farewell address entitled Amar Katha, My Message. So the three people who went was Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj, Bhakti Hriday Ban Maharaj, and Samvidananda Das Bhakti Shastri. Amar Katha. I wonder if that's That looks familiar. Anyways, I wonder if it's... Writer and reporter of the Godia mission. Letters and preaching reports came to Srila Prabhupada from all over India and also from Europe, and Srila Prabhupada wrote back to his disciples. All those letters were given to Sri Pranavananda Prabhu, who wrote about them in the Godia. Sometimes he wrote about preaching incidents in great detail, and sometimes he just wrote the gists. Thus, he had to have a clear concept of Srila Prabhupada's whole preaching mission. As the preaching efforts intensified, so did his writing efforts. Knowing this, his godbrothers also asked him many questions. He spent many hours with Srila Prabhupada each day, and he continued to write articles based on Srila Prabhupada's talks. Preaching mission in Europe. In the beginning of May of 1933, Srila Prabhupada's disciples established a preaching center in Kensington, London. At the end of that month, Srila Prabhupada got letters inquiring into spiritual matters from Lord Zetland, who had formerly been the governor of Bengal, and the Marquis of Lothian, to which he replied. In June, he got letters of appreciation from some prominent British people. Among them were the editor of the London Times, Lord Irwin, a formerly Viceroy of India, who would be a former Viceroy of India who had become the British ambassador to the U.S. during the World War II, and Sir Stanley Jackson, another former governor of Bengal. Wow. In July, Srila Prabhupada's disciples met with King George V and Queen Mary at Buckingham Palace, and also with the Archbishop of Canterbury. In November, Srila Prabhupada's disciples went to preach in Germany and France. At the end of December, they returned to London. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu wrote about all the major preaching incidents within India and outside India in his regular weekly column in the Godia called Samajik Prasanga. Contemporary topics. Or is it Samayak? Samayak Prasanga. Samayak Prasanga. Srila Prabhupada's complaint. Towards the end of 1935, Srila Prabhupada displayed a pastime of serious but intermittent illness. He never stopped preaching or planning and working with his disciples. When the doctors came to treat him, he preached to them as well. When Sri Kunjabihari Vidyabhushan Prabhu requested Srila Prabhupada not to speak so much, Srila Prabhupada would complain to the guests, "They are not letting me speak Harikatha." Srila Prabhupada's amazing mission. By now, Srila Prabhupada had established 64 temples all over India, introduced devotional exhibitions, conducted radio broadcasts, and established organized parikramas of the holy dhams. He had written more than 108 essays and books. He was publishing 6 different daily, weekly, monthly, and bi-monthly magazines, as well as books in various languages. He had established printing presses such as the Bhagavat Jantra, the Godia printing works, Nadia Prakash printing press, and Paramarthi printing works. Paramarthi is the Oriya magazine. He had published Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, and Sri Brahma Samhita with commentaries. He was the first Acharya to research and compile information on the 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas and emphasize their common goal. He had preached all over India along with his disciples and had sent preachers to Burma and Europe. But mere facts and figures cannot describe his amazing gift to humanity. Very important point. He protected Sriman Mahaprabhu's mission from those who would dilute and distort it in the name of adaptation. He took the treasure which had been safeguarded by a few and gave it to many. He enabled devotees to joyfully assemble together in a modern institution. He gave the highest concept of devotion to thousands of surrendered souls who took shelter at his lotus feet. He made it conceivable to preach Sriman Mahaprabhu's mission all over the world. Srila Prabhupada's last journey to his birthplace, Shri Purī Dham. On October 24th, 1936, Srila Prabhupada bade Sri Bhakti Saranga Gosvāmī Mahārāja farewell and sent him to preach in England and America. America? That's interesting. But did he go to America? I wonder if he actually made it to America. At this time, Srila Prabhupada blessed him and gave him Shalagram Śrīla, Gomati Śrīla, and Govardhan Śrīla. On that same day, Srila Prabhupada set forth from Kolkata to Purī Dham. He arrived the following day with many of his disciples accompanying him. Among them were Srila Śrīla Mahārāja, Shri Kunja Bihari Prabhu, Shri Hayagriva Das Brahmachari, that's Bhakti Dait Madhava Goswami Maharaj, Shri Paramananda Vidyaratna, and Shri Sajanananda Brahmachari. In Puri, Srila Prabhupada seems to be in a meditative mood of deep devotion. He showed transcendental symptoms of divine ecstasy. From time to time, he would tell the devotees, "It is in this life that we have to serve our Lord. So we can gain, it is in this life that we have to serve our Lord so we can gain eternal service at the lotus feet of our eternal Lord. We should not waste any time. It is in this life that we have to serve our Lord so we can gain eternal service to the lotus feet of our eternal Lord. So we should not waste any time." Srila Prabhupada returns to Kolkata. On December 7th, 1936, Srila Prabhupada left Puri for Kolkata. The next day, a huge crowd of devotees was waiting at Howrah station to welcome Srila Prabhupada. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu was there, and even though his heart was full of various emotions, he did not forget to take notes. Srila Prabhupada's car was decorated with flowers, and it went to the Godia Mat amid a Sankirtan procession. While in Puri, Srila Prabhupada had displayed his pastime of illness. So his disciples had engaged the most famous physicians in Kolkata, such as Sir Nil Ratan Sarkar, Dr. Shivapada Bhattacharya, and Dr. Indubhushan Vasu, Dr. P. Brahmachari, and Dr. Nagendra Gopal Vishwas, to take care of Srila Prabhupada full time. As instructed by the doctors, Srila Prabhupada's disciples requested him not to speak for very long at a stretch. When asked how he was, Srila Prabhupada would say that his only problem was that he was not allowed to do Hari Kirtan. Srila Prabhupada told the disciples who were assembled there, "One should not make many disciples. I have not made any disciples. They are all my gurus. I learned something from all of them. May they give me the opportunity to follow the example of their pure devotion. This is my prayer." Wow. Final address. On the 23rd of December, Srila Prabhupada gave his final instruction to the assembled devotees. Again, Sri Pranavananda Prabhu took notes and later gave them to Sri Sundarananda Vidya Vinod Prabhu. No one knew that this would be Srila Prabhupada's last address. These famous words, which express the gist of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, were later published in the Godia. Since then, this vital and immortal message to Gaudiya Vaishnavas has been printed in all the biographies of Srila Prabhupada. Clasping the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Then Srila Prabhupada displayed his pastime of illness. Is that like the Upadeshavali that like we have at the end of the Gaudiya Giti Gucha? I'm guessing it is. Clasping the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Then Srila Prabhupada displayed his pastime of illness. At the same time, he was continuously chanting and meditating. One day, he was sitting alone in his room when Sri Pranavananda Prabhu came in. He offered his obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. Then he clasped Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet to his chest. With tears in his eyes, he pleaded to Srila Prabhupada, "Prabhupada, I am your most ignorant and incompetent son. I have no good qualities. I have committed so many offenses at your lotus feet. Please forgive me and give me mercy. Please give me shelter at your lotus feet. Without your mercy, I have no hope." Then his voice was choked with emotion. Hearing this, Srila Prabhupada also cried. Attending Srila Prabhupada. Shri Kunja Bihari Prabhu made up a duty roster for some of the devotees who were present, so one of them would be with Srila Prabhupada every hour of the day and night. Among those who had the service were Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, Sri Pranavananda Prabhu, Sri Krishnananda Brahmachari, and Sri Tewari Mohan Brahmachari. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu later wrote in his diary, "I shall be eternally indebted to Sri Pad Kunjata for giving me the opportunity to serve Srila Prabhupada when he is playing the pastime of illness." Srila Prabhupada told his disciples, "I was supposed to be in this world for another 12 years, but I have been called to the higher realm." Shri Rupa Manjari Pada. In the morning of December 31st, 1936, Srila Prabhupada requested Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj to sing the song Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Shei Mora Sampada by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu frequently remembers that incident. He said, Srila Sridhar Maharaj hesitated, so Kunjada, Shri Kunja Bihari Vidyabhushan, asked me to sing that song. But Srila Prabhupada did not want me to sing the song. He wanted Srila Sridhar Maharaj to sing that song. By asking Srila Sridhar Maharaj to sing Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, he gave us all a clear indication of Srila Sridhar Maharaj's higher position. He has repeated this story more than anyone. See, that's what gives him joy, is that his god brothers, his Srila Sridhar Gosvāmī Maharaj is glorified. That's what, he doesn't want his own glorification. He only wants that, like that. Last instruction. Then Srila Prabhupada expressed his appreciation to some of his disciples for their service and gave some instructions for the future. Finally, he said, "Love and rapture both should have the same end in view." Srila Narottam Das Thakur lived by the concept of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath. We should also live our lives according to that concept. Then Srila Prabhupada told everyone, "All of you who are present here, as well as those who are not present, please accept my blessings. Remember that our only duty and religion is to propagate the service of the Lord and his devotees." Let me just reread this because this is so important. Love and rapture both should have the same end in view. Srila Narottam Das Thakur lived by the concept of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath. We should also live our lives according to that concept. All of you who are present here, as well as those who are not present, please accept my blessings. Please remember that our only duty and our religion is to propagate the service of the Lord and his devotees. Last words. At about 5:20 in the next morning, Sri Pranavananda Prabhu he was at Srila Prabhupada's bedside. Suddenly, Srila Prabhupada came out of his deep meditation and said, "Who is here?" Sri Pranavananda Prabhu said, "It's me, Pranavananda Prabhupada." Srila Prabhupada said, "Oh, Pranavananda Prabhu?" Sri Pranavananda Prabhu asked him, "How are you feeling, Prabhupada?" Srila Prabhupada said, "What can I say? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna." These were his last words. As the next devotee, Sripad Krishnananda Prabhu entered to take up his post at Srila Prabhupada's bedside. Sri Pranavananda Prabhu went back to his room. He sat there thinking, is Srila Prabhupada going to leave us now? What will happen if he leaves us? What will happen if he leaves us now? What shall we do? His thoughts were interrupted by the sounds of footsteps. It was Sripad Krishnananda Prabhu. He said, "Come quickly. I think the great disaster has happened to us." Then there was the tumultuous sound of crying all over the Godia Mat. And amazingly enough, all the clocks in the Mat stopped. Srila Prabhupada's disappearance pastime. At 5:30 a.m. on Thursday, January 1st, 1937, Srila Prabhupada left this material world to enter Shri Radha Govinda's Nishant Leela. At the pre-dawn hour, when Shri Radha Govinda are united as one, when the divine pastime of Shri Gaurasundar is eternally manifest, the most worshipable Lord of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Srila Prabhupada, who called himself Shri Varshabhanavi Daita Das, the servant of the beloved of Srimati Radharani, entered the abode of his eternal pastime. The grief and lamentation of the devotees at the Godia Mat were beyond description. Some were sobbing as if their hearts would break. Some were chanting loudly with eyes flooded with tears. Some were falling at Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. Some were falling on the ground and chanting with their heads bowed down. And some were hitting their foreheads and saying, "Oh Prabhupada, oh Prabhupada." Even though the sun had just risen, it seems that the sky in the Gaudiya that in the sky of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the sun had just set. Flowers and tears. The devotees started performing the Vedic rites with great care, in spite of the intolerable burning pain of separation. First of all, they bathed Srila Prabhupada with sandalwood water. Then they dressed him in new clothes and decorated him with flowers, garlands, and sandalwood. Crying incessantly, they put tilak on 12 parts of his body. Then Srila Prabhupada was laid on a new bed in front of the deities. The devotees circumambulated him and performed puja, bhog, and arati to him amidst tumultuous sankirtan. Thousands of people started coming to have their last darshan of Srila Prabhupada. Flowers and tears were everywhere. Then Srila Prabhupada was taken to Shelda station amid a sankirtan procession of thousands of people. A devotee of Srila Prabhupada called Shri Jamani Mukhopadhyay arranged for a special train to take Srila Prabhupada to Mayapur. In one of the Rays of the Harmonist, there's a beautiful description of this by Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. I want to find it. It's so beautiful. Wait, I just have to see what article was it. Okay, resources, Rays of the Harmonist. And I really need to put this all in one file. Anyways, maybe we can read it. It'd be nice to read it now. Let me just find it 1 second. It's not that issue. Might be this one. Let me just, if I don't find it right away, then I won't waste any more time. Separation from Srila Prabhupada. I think it's this one. No, this isn't it. Okay. There's quite a few separation articles by Param Gurudev. Let me just quickly see if it's in this one. Oops. Might be this one. Let's just check this one, and then if it's... Oh, it is this one, but I have to open it with something else. So thanks for sticking around. Okay. Okay, so this is my Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. He said, the Acharya's arrival in Sri Dham. Srila Prabhupada doubted that we would heed his instructions. Full of natural pride in his eternal identity, he adopted a grave and silent mood, intending to come to the bank of his ever-dear Sri Radhakund. Understanding his inner intention, the Vaishnavas, as Vishnu Dutas, carried him on their heads and placed him in an especially well-decorated chariot that had many compartments, a metaphor for the special train that carried his body. As Srila Prabhupada entered the largest and most exquisite compartment with his dearest servants, other servants followed, entering their respective chambers. That Goloka chariot on the earth planet had come for Srila Prabhupada, Sri Krishna's dearest, and now it traveled at high speed and without interruption, reached Sri Krishna Dham, a metaphor for Krishna Nagar near Navadvip. It reached Sri Krishna Dham in the blink of an eye. The Ranakshetra, or battlefield, a metaphor for Ranagat, the place of Srila Prabhupada's maternal home where he had spent his early childhood, is where the battle between knowledge and realization, Vidya and Vedan, took place. As the driver stopped here, Srila Prabhupada, the Acharya, reminded me of his childhood pastime of acquiring knowledge, even though he was inherently possessed of realized knowledge. Like Badva Rishi, he apprised me of many things without actually speaking. There's a footnote there. Vaskali, the disciple of Badva Rishi, inquired from his teacher 3 times about the nature of Brahma. By maintaining silence, Badva Rishi satisfied his inquiry. Since Brahma lies beyond the material worlds, silence was the appropriate response to his question. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada spoke to Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj through his silence, and reminded him the teaching that the material ears have no power at all to grasp the divine instructions of Sri Guru. Okay. So, like Badva Rishi, he apprised me of many things without actually speaking. At that time, I could not understand anything he was saying to me due to my ignorance. But I fully realized that any attempt to hear the Vani or divine instructions from the personification of transcendental Vani using one's material ears is futile. Traveling from Krishna Dham, in other words, Krishna Nagar, the embodiment of Sri Vani, Srila Saraswati Prabhu, reached Gordham, which is non-different from Sri Krishna Dham. There at Sri Swananda Sukada Kunj, he met with Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur to inform him of his arrival. From there, he went to the bank of Sri Radha Kund, which was manifested by the Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Math on the premises of Sri Chandrasekhar Acharya Bhavan at Sri Dham Mayapur, where he met with Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Nearby, on the bank of the Kund in Sevakunj, he was decorated with flowers, garlands, sandalwood paste, and various other ingredients collected by this degraded person. By this degraded person, referring to himself. After this unfortunate person beautified his bodily luster, lavanya, and lavanya also means salt, doesn't it? Lavanya, this refers to the placing of salt around his body. So lavanya means beauty, and it also means salt. So after after this unfortunate beautified his bodily luster, lavanya, Srila Prabhupada situated himself in samadhi as the dearmost associate of Sri Radha Madan Mohan. To give me the eligibility to render service to the divine couple under his guidance, he took up residence there forever. I now pray to the servants of Gurudev that they may mercifully bestow upon me a fraction of the qualification needed to serve Guru Padma in fulfilling his most cherished desire. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudappa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine. Okay, let's go back to this. Okay, so Samadhi rites of Srila Prabhupada. They decided that the place of his Samadhi would be between Sri Chaitanya Mat and Sri Bhakti Vijay Bhavan. Singing Sankirtan, Sannyasi, Brahmachari, and Grahastha devotees together began digging the foundation of the Samadhi Mandir. Srila Prabhupada was bathed in the Ganga water, dressed in new clothes, and decorated with sandalwood. Srila Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj wrote the Samadhi mantra with sandalwood, following the injunction of Sri Gopal Bhatta Gosvāmī. Now Srila Prabhupada was brought to the place of Samadhi, and amid obeisances, prayer, glorification, and offering of flowers, he was seated on a marble throne covered with delicate cloth. The tumultuous sound of glorification and Sankirtan resounded as sandalwood, flowers, garlands, and arati were offered at his lotus feet. Devotees were rolling on the ground, crying, Jai Prabhupada, and singing his favorite songs, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Swananda Sukara Kunja Manohar, and Yashomati Nandana. Swananda Sukada Kunja Manohar, Tahate Kutira Shoge. Right? Basiya Tatai, Gabo Krishnanam. I think that's what it's referring to. Tahate Kutira Shoge. Yeah, it is. That's Chintamani Moy, Radha Kunda Tata. Fire sacrifice for Srila Gurudev. One second, just checking the comments, making sure everything's running okay. All right, Hare Krishna, Amit Krishna Prabhu. There you go. Okay, fire sacrifice for Srila Gurudev. Srila Sridhar Maharaj and Sri Pranavananda Prabhu offered a Vaishnav Homa, a fire sacrifice. Srila Bharati Maharaj, the Bhakti Vivek Bharati Goswami Maharaj, read the disappearance pastime of Srila Haridas Thakur from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And the devotees circumambulated the Samadhi, singing Jai Anila Prema Dhana and Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya. Then they sang Srila Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra. Okay, so that is the end of chapter 3. And tomorrow we will continue on with chapter 4, the traveling years. I just read this one excerpt. Srila Bhakti Purī Goswami said, Srila Prabhupada's affection could not be compared with that of millions of fathers and mothers. If we were ever sad and miserable, as soon as we sat near him, all sadness went away due to the shower of his unlimited affection. If Srila Prabhupada went away from us for a few days, our hearts used to ache in separation, and we used to think night and day, when will he come back again? You cannot even imagine this pain of separation that they were feeling. This article by my Parama Gurudev also is just so profound. I'm just sorry, I just can't help myself. Listen to this. Vani Kirtan. I mean, this whole article, every paragraph is just amazing, but I'm just reading one excerpt. Vani, or sound, is received through one sensory organ only, the ears. In other words, the other four senses are impotent to receive it. It is impossible to approach an object that lies beyond the senses through the medium of the senses. Indeed, we attain auspiciousness to the extent that we are able to limit the involvement of the senses. This is precisely why Shravan, why hearing, and Kirtan, chanting, are considered superior to the other limbs of bhakti. Then he continues on. If my mentality of considering Shri Guru to be a mere mortal has not vanished after hearing the kirtan of the transcendental instructions from your lotus mouths, he's referring to all his godbrothers, O servitors of Shri Guru, then my performance of the limbs of bhakti executed through the other senses is futile also. What doubt can there be about this? In the present age, every limb of bhakti needs to be performed in conjunction with kirtan. Although limbs of bhakti other than Shravan and kirtan exist, they do not bestow the highest result without kirtan. Therefore, by the boundless mercy of you all, I have been able to understand that kirtan is independent and the topmost sadhan. Only bhakti characterized by Shravan and kirtan constitutes preaching and is Bhagavat Mata, the Manobhishta of Sri Chaitanya. Whereas bhakti that involves the construction of mats and temples, service to the deities, archan, and so on, is Pancharatrik Mata, the system of formal deity worship. You have allowed me to understand that the sole ontological reason for Srila Prabhupada's appearance was to preach the conceptions of the Bhagavat Parampara. Kirtan is the sole fruit of kirtan. Kirtan alone is seva, and kirtan is also prem. Srila Jiva Gosvāmī has written in his Kramasandarbha, Yadyapanya bhakti kalo kartavya tadat kirtanakya bhakti samyogenaiva ityuktam. In Kali Yuga, the limbs of bhakti other than kirtan are also to be performed, but only in conjunction with kirtan. Srila Prabhupada has himself said, let there be representatives of the Pancharatrik process. Let the temples be constructed and the deities worshipped. But those who belong to the better class, the higher class, engage in preaching activities. To propagate Vaikuntha Nam everywhere is the most cherished desire of Mahaprabhu. Our preaching process should be like this. Let pamphlets be printed profusely. It does not matter whether or not the mats and temples are erected. Even in his final instructions, Srila Prabhupada specifically cautioned us. We have not come to this world as masons to deal with stone or wood. We are the peons of Sri Chaitanya Dev's message. Let people practice any one or several of the limbs of bhakti independently of kirtan. We shall practice only bhakti that is characterized by kirtan, as instructed by Srila Prabhupada. Kirtanakya bhakti, as instructed by Srila Prabhupada. Then one must, I'll end with this paragraph. One must present one's ears to hear the Vani. I love this point. Because I maintains the conception that Srila Prabhupada was an ordinary human being, because I maintain the conception that Srila Prabhupada was an ordinary human being, his words never entered my ears. Therefore, he would often say, first prepare your ears. That means develop transcendental Shraddha. So first prepare your ears, develop transcendental Shraddha. By doing so, you will attain the qualification to hear the Siddhanta of the Bhagavat. Now I realize in the core of my heart the essence of this instruction. Although I remained by Srila Prabhupada for about 18 years, till 1937, his teachings on what is ultimately beneficial and what is temporarily pleasing, Shreya and Preya, on following and mere imitation, Anusaran and Anukaran, on what is real and what is fake, Ashal and Nakal, on ontology and morphology, on spirituality and proper conduct. No, that Vyavaharik here doesn't mean proper conduct. It means mundanity, like normal worldly things, right? I'm pretty sure. So in spirituality and whatever, and on associating with the transcendental personality's form and teachings, Vapu and Vani, as embodied by the Godia magazine, did not enter my ears, nor could I realize a difference between these categories. This paragraph right here. This is the ultimate prayer. Therefore, I pray to the servitors of Shri Guru to help me first present my ears. Until I ready my ears for this purpose, I will be the subject of the statement, Upadesho hi murkanam prakopaya nashantaye. Instructions given to fools serve only to anger them, not pacify them. So I pray to the servitors of Shri Guru to help me first present my ears. Wow, okay. Now it is, Kishore Prabhu just shared a quote. He said, whether, this is from Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, right? Whether Srila Purī Goswami Maharaj is acknowledged or not, all branches and sub-branches established in the wake of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, as well as those that will be established in the future, they bear a strong, unbreakable relation, whether direct or indirect, to the transcendental words, to the Vani expounded in his literary contributions. No respectable, virtuous person will ever deny this. Beautiful. Okay, so now it is 8:30. This is the time we usually end. If anybody needs to leave, you can totally go. There's no, but if anybody who wants to stay, I'm going to be going through, this is very long, so that it might take us quite a while to get through this. But this is the Shri Gaur Gopal Prashasti, Glorification of Shri Gaur and Gopal, by Parivrajacharya Tridandi Swami Bhakti, Shri Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, translated by Devamayī Dasi. It's Devamayī Mātājī who wrote this biography that we're reading every day now. Just quickly checking the comments. 1 second. Okay. Everybody's still there. Cool. All right, so let's do this. Let me just make this text a little bit bigger. I think that's a good size. I just removed all the formatting, so it looks a little bit strange because it got messed up when I copied it from a PDF. And I just did this, like, that's why I was 5 minutes late. It was because I just started preparing this. Anyways, okay. Maybe I'll read the translation first, and then I'll just read all the verses, and so that we don't, or what would be nicer? You tell me. Should I sing the verse and then read the translation? Or should I read all the translations and then just sing this, and then we can sing the song without breaking it? You can, what would you prefer? I'm fine with doing either one. I think the second option, just reading the translations and then just singing all the Bengali verses together, would be the quickest one. But it is also really nice to know what you're reading right away. So just looking at the chat. Second option. Okay, cool. I'll do that. Lord Hari, the son of the king of Raj, accepting the mood and beauty of Radharani, took birth in Mayapur. Inside, he was Krishna, black, and outside, he was Gaur, golden. Taking the name Vishwambar, maintainer of the universe, he filled the universe with love of God. Those who are associates of Krishna in Vraj are also the associates of Gaur, and they all manifested themselves before and after his advent. In the company of all of them, accepting the mood of a devotee, he tasted the nectarian love which belongs to Vraj. Shachi and Jagannath, who are none different from Yashoda and Sri Nanda, became his mother and father. Balaram, the son of Rohini, accepting the name Nitai, took birth in the country of Rad as his elder brother, Rardesh. Gauranga's elder brother Vishwarup, who is the plenary portion of Lord Nityananda, renounced his home and became a sannyasi. He went to Pandharpur in Maharashtra and accepted the name Shankararanya. In due course of time, he attained perfection and left the planet. Nitai put on the dress of a mendicant and, traveling throughout the land, finally arrived in Vrindavan. Crying in separation from his brother, he wandered along the bank of the Yamuna, and day and night called out, "Where are you, my brother?" Then he realized that his brother was hiding in Navadvip in disguise and wanted to be united with him. So immediately, Nityananda came to Mayapur and hid in the house of Nandan Acharya. In the meantime, Gauranga was watching the road, waiting for his elder brother, hankering greatly to meet him. Tears were flowing from his eyes, and he became almost mad in separation. Thinking of his brother, he was beside himself. Suddenly realizing that his brother had arrived, he ran to the house of Nandan Acharya. The two brothers were united, and there were feelings of great joy all around. The residents of Nadia started dancing in loving ecstasy. Namacharya Thakur Haridas came and joined Nityananda, and the two of them started kirtan in great joy. Shri Advaita, Shri Gadadhar, Srivas, and all the other devotees also joined in that kirtan. Oh, the sounds of that holy name! What sweetness it showered, bringing the essence of the sweet love of Goloka. Such sweet love was distributed to everyone, even to sinful people. Those who were fortunate drank it to the fullest, but their thirst kept on increasing. On the bank of the river Suradhuni, the Ganga, in the association of Shri Advaita, Nityananda, Gadadhar, Haridas, Srivas, and other devotees, Lord Gauranga, being intoxicated in the mood of Sankirtan, danced in great joy, calling out the name of Lord Hari. The courtyard of Srivas became the site of the Sankirtan Yagya, and it seems that the fire of this Yagya was burning all the time with its 7 tongues. The great devotees completely sacrificed their souls in that fire of the holy name and became overwhelmed by its nectarian influence. There was a flood of love everywhere, and the earth planet became very satisfied, as it seems that there was no bounds to its joy. All the devotees danced with uplifted arms, taking Gauranga's name, knowing him to be Lord Hari. Everyone forgot all their grief and miseries. For 24 years, Lord Gauranga lived in his house and taught them the essence of religion. Then he made the residents of Nadia cry as he became a sannyasi, being immersed in the mood of Radharani. Mother Shachi cried, and so did Vishnupriya, the mother of the universe. The devotees cried as their hearts were crushed by grief. They could not tolerate this pain, and they beat their foreheads and chests in intense misery, giving up food and sleep. Just as before, the residents of Vraj, losing their black moon, Krishna, were immersed in the ocean of separation, similarly, now the residents of Nadia, losing their golden moon, Gaur, were ready to give up their lives. Later, they remembered the teachings of Lord Gauranga and tried with great difficulty to tolerate this pain. They kept taking the holy name, even though the name hardly came out of their mouths, as they were heartbroken. As they were remembering the name of Gauranga, tears flowed incessantly from their eyes, and the Lord consoled them all in their dreams. How beautiful. The Lord manifested himself for 24 years in Nilachal, Jagannath Purī, and the devotees went to see him every year. The Lord, who is very affectionate to his devotees, being very merciful to them, fulfilled all their desires. The instruction of Lord Gauranga is that one should engage in Sankirtan, taking the name of Lord Krishna without interruption. This is the best worship. Take the name of Krishna, worship Krishna, and learn how to worship Krishna in the 3 stages of Sambandha, Avideya, and Prayojan. This was his instructions that he called out everywhere. Hiding from her, he made her cry in Vraj, and thus tasted the sweet nectar of love. Now accepting her mood, he is searching for Krishna, being engulfed in the grief of separation. Jai Shri Bhanunandini Shrimati Radha Thakurani ki jai. Lord Gauranga was crying incessantly as he was wandering along the shore of the blue ocean, being immersed in the mood of Radharani. His eyes were shedding tears and saying, "Where are you, Krishna, the treasure of my life?" Saying this, he fainted every now and then. Day and night, staying in the room called Gambhira, he shared with Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai his feelings of intense love, which made his heart ache. The more they consoled him, the more his pain increased. He found little patience in his heart. Radharani is the supreme beloved of Krishna, and Krishna is bound by her love. To preach about that love, merciful Krishna himself manifested the pastimes of Lord Gauranga. Therefore, all glories to this age of Kali, which is the best of all ages. It came from our beloved Lord Gaur's own sweet lips. The only way to attain that love is to engage in the chanting of the holy name. Embracing Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai, the golden Krishna delivered the most encouraging message. He delivered the most encouraging message to all the hopeless souls. Who else has so much mercy for the fallen and insignificant? He gives us the Chintamani jewel without any austerity on our part. He gives love to one who does not ask for it. He does not discriminate between the high and the low. Therefore, let us worship the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga. One attains Lord Gauranga's great mercy by chanting and worshipping the holy name, and all his offenses are quickly erased. He attains love of Krishna, and his life becomes successful. He gains entrance into Krishna's nectarian pastimes. To fulfill one's desire, the holy name is all-powerful, and it can make the impossible happen. If one takes shelter of that holy name with great faith, then the Lord, who is none different from his holy name, delivers him. Shri Gauranga, the reservoir of transcendental qualities, is the essence of all incarnations. Therefore, O my mind, Make his lotus feet the only object of your worship. Who else but Lord Gauranga will deliver someone bereft of devotional practice? Who else has the quality of forgiveness in such great quantity? I am an ignorant, fallen, suffering soul who has been an offender for many lifetimes. I am a very inferior living entity enchanted by the illusory energy. O Lord Gauranga, please protect an insignificant person like me by dint of your own mercy and become my supreme destiny. I have not acquired any love for Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas, and I am committing hundreds of offenses. I have become very restless when I cannot even imagine what will be my future and how my offenses will be erased. If the merciful Sri Gauranga will glance at me with kindness, then there is some hope of my being delivered. It is possible that Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas will be pleased with me and will grant me the privilege of serving them. Without the mercy of Gurudev, one does not attain the mercy of Gaur or Krishna, and all his devotional practices become useless. He cannot get rid of his obstacles. In fact, he meets obstacles at every step. No one wants to be his friend. He gets chastised and persecuted all the time. His own 6 enemies, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy, never leave him alone. Carrying the burden of his body, one day he will just die uselessly. He does not have peace for one moment. There is no thought of Krishna in his mind. He just laments day and night. The divine illusory energy consisting of the 3 modes of material nature is very difficult to overcome. Who has the strength to conquer her? But if one is surrendered to Sri Krishna, he can very easily conquer the illusory energy. The mercy of Krishna possesses all potency. O Lord Gauranga, please be merciful to me. Please rescue me from this great danger. Please give me shelter at your lotus feet. Please sustain me in the joy of devotional service in the company of your associates. Please intoxicate me with the nectar of the holy name. By singing the holy name continuously, I will wipe out all my material desires, and my offenses will be erased. Crying, "O Nitai," I shall earnestly submit my prayer at his lotus feet. Then Nitai will be merciful to me. When material desires are wiped out from my heart, it will become pure and clean. I will see the transcendental Vrindavan. Day and night, I will receive the mercy of Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas. Thus, I will appreciate the conjugal love of the divine couple. Swarup, Rup, and Raghunath will capture me and make me join their camp. Being affectionate to me, they will teach me how to worship the divine couple. They will teach me the different kinds of service to be done during the 8 periods of the day. These are so beautiful. Swarup, Rup, and Raghunath will capture me and make me join their camp. Be affectionate. They'll teach me how to worship the divine couple and perform different kinds of service throughout the 8 periods of the day. In the company of the devotees following Sri Rup, I will spend my time very joyfully hearing topics of Krishna and visiting different places of his pastimes. I will go and roll on the grounds of the 12 forests and groves of Vrindavan, where various pastimes occurred. With great happiness, I will hear the glories of Rajabhumi, where Krishna's pastimes eternally take place from the lips of saintly devotees. Even today, the cowherd boys gather there. Those pastimes which steal the heart of the gopis are still going on there. Vrindavan is the Lord's eternal abode. His associates are eternally present there. His pastimes with the gopis, such as the rasa dance, are among his eternal pastimes. Such pastimes as the killing of demons depend on time and circumstances. They are occasional additions to his pastimes that happen in this world. With material eyes, which are blinded with outworldly desires, it is not possible to see the opulence of Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Only by the mercy of Gurudev does one get transcendental vision, so that the eternal pastimes of the Lord manifest themselves to him. Even today, the melody of the flute causes the river of Yamuna to swell. Inanimate nature becomes animated. Even today, Kanu, who is bound by the love of his devotees, gathers his cows around him to take them to pasture, playing his enchanting flute. Even today, his charming form, curved in 3 places and clothed in beautiful yellow cloth, can be seen there, and the peacock feather looks very pretty on his head. The flute which steals the hearts of the gopis is on his lips, and he intoxicates the gopis with its music. With a Vaijayanti garland made of forest flowers on his neck, and his dark complexion resembling the new cloud of monsoon, beloved Shyam is standing under the bamboo tree. He attracts the gopis to the forest with the melody of his flute. The Lord of the gopis hankers for the association of the gopis. The young cowherd boy who lifted Govardhan hill charms the heart of Radharani, and along with his consort, he enjoys the ecstasy of the rasa dance. Beautiful Shyam, who is the lord of Radharani and who is the enjoyer of the beauty of Radharani, steals the hearts of all the damsels of Vraj. O Lord of the fallen, friend of the fallen, please come along with Srimati Radharani and bestow your unlimited mercy on this fallen servant of yours. Erasing my offenses, please bestow some qualifications on my unqualified self, and please give me entrance to your eternal service. Seeing Vrajabhumi as non-different from Goda, Navadvip, and remembering the qualities and pastimes of Lord Gauranga, I will taste the joy of Krishna's pastimes in Vraj. Shri Gaur will be merciful to me and will grant me devotional service to Radha Krishna, and in due time I will give up my material body. Wow. Oh, wow. What if, oh my God, that's called bhajan. And we're very fortunate that Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Maharaj revealed his bhajan to us like this. I'll just reread this last paragraph, this last verse again. Seeing Vrajabhumi as non-different from Goda, from Navadvip, and remembering the qualities and pastimes of Lord Gauranga, I will taste the joy of Krishna's pastimes in Vraj. Shri Gaur will be merciful to me and will grant me devotional service to Radha Krishna, and in due time I will give up my material body. Jai Srila Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay, so now I'm going to start singing this, and I know it's very late. Oh my God, we're already nearly going on for 2 hours now. So I totally, like, nobody feel pressured to stay here. But if anybody has to go, you can go. Otherwise, if you want to stay, we're going to sing this all together now. There's 48 verses. And these are Dirgha Tripadi verses. These aren't, like, it's a lot easier to write Poyar verses in Bengali. This takes a lot more. Okay. Hare Krishna, Christiana Luna. Now I'm getting a madanga. I just need to drink a little bit of water first before we start. And then I have a really old Bengali edition of this, but I've never sung it before. This is the first time I've ever sung it. Okay. And this is called the Shri Gaur Gopal Prashasti. O Vrajendra Nandana Hari Radha Bhava Kanti Dhori Mayapura Janama লভিল অন্তর কৃষ্ণ বাহির গোর নাম লইল বিশ্বম্বর প্রেম দিয়া ভুবন ভরিল প্রেম দিয়া ভুবন ভরিল व्रज परिकर जे गौर परिकर से आगे पाछे सब प्रकटिलो ता सबारे संगे करी भक्त भाव अंगी करी व्रज प्रेम रस आस्वादिलो श्री नंद यशोदा जेनो साची जगन्नाथ तेनो माता पिता ताहार होइल रोहिणी नंदन बलाय धरिले नाम निताय ज्येष्ठ भ्रात राधे जन्मिल ज्येष्ठ भ्रात राधे जन्मिल गौराग्रज विश्वरूप नित्यानंद अंश रूप गृह त्याजी संन्यास होइल पंढरपुरे ते गिया शंकरन्य नाम लोया जथा काले सिद्धि लाभ कोइलो निताय अवधूत वेश धरी देशे देशे घुरी घुरी शेषे आसिलेन वृंदावन यमुनार कुले कुले भ्रातार बिरले बोले कोथा भाई डाके अनुखान नवद्वीपे छद्म होये आछे भाई लुकाइए भुजी तारे मिली पारे छाय शीघ्र आसी मायापुरे नंदन आचार्य घरे लुकाइलो नित्यानंद राय एदिके अग्रज मने मिलिते सतृष्ण मने पता पाने छे आछे गोरा दुनयने बहे धारा होये छे पागल पारा भाई भाई बोली आत्मा हार शिकोनिताय की जाय असहसानुभवे जानी अग्रजेर आगमनी छूटे चले नंदनेर घरे दो भाई मिलन हलो कि आनंद उछलिल दो भाई मिलन हलो कि आनंद उछलिल ना देवासी नाचे प्रेम भरे न देवासी नाचे प्रेम भरे जय श्री गणिताय की जय नामाचार्य हरिदास मिली अवधूत पाश महानंदे कीर्तन आरंभिलो श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि भक्तवर से कीर्तने सबे जोग दिलो आहासे नामेर ध्वनि कि मधुवर से मानी गोलोकेर प्रेम सुधा सार अपमारे करे दान भाग्यवान करे पान पिपाशा भड़े अनिबार पिपाशा भड़े अनिबार श्री अद्वैत नित्यानंद शिवासादि भक्त वृंद गदाधर हरिदास संगे सुरधुनि तीरे गोरा संकीर्तने मातोवारा हरि बोली नाचे प्रेम रंगे श्रीवासयंगन होइलो संकीर्तन यज्ञ स्थल सप्तजित्व उठे जज्ञानल ताहे आत्मपूर्ण भूति देहो भक्त महामत ভক্তি নাম রসে হলেন বিহ্বল। উচ্ছলিল প্রেম বন্যা ধরিত্রী হলেন ধন্য। আনন্দের আর সীমা নাই। গৌর হরি হরি বলি নাচে ভক্ত বাহুতুল। গৌর হরি হরি বলি নাচে ভক্ত বাহুতুলি। দুঃখ শোক ভুলিল সবাই, দুঃখ শোক ভুলিল সবাই। ২৪ বৎসর ধরি গৃহাশ্রমে বাস করি, ধর্ম মর্ম শিখালেন ঘোরা। পরে হলেন সন্ন্যাসী, কাঁদালেন নাদিবাসী। কাঁদালেন নাদিবাসী। রাধা বাবা হলেন বিভোরা, রাধা বাবে হলেন বিভোরা। কান্দিলেন শচী মাতা, বিষ্ণু প্রিয় জগন মাতা। ভক্তবৃন্দ কান্দিয়া বিকল, শিরে বুকে হানি করে ধৈর্য ধরিতে নারে। নিদ্রাহার সবতে আগিল, পূর্বে যেন ব্রজবাসী হারাইয়ে কাল শশী। বিরহ ইয়ারে নিমজিল, এবে তেন নদেবাসী হারাইয়ে গৌর শশী। প্রাণ ত্যাগে সংকল্প করিল, গৌর শিক্ষা স্মরি পরে অতি কষ্টে ধৈর্য ধরে। পুকারি জুকারি নাম করে, স্মরিয়া গৌরাঙ্গ নাম। নেত্রে অশ্রু অবিরাম, স্বপ্নে গৌর প্রবোধেন তারে। গৌরাঙ্গ প্রকট কালে 24 वर्ष নীলাচলে। প্রতিবর্ষ দেখি বারে যায়, ভক্ত প্রতি কৃপা করি। ভক্ত বৎসল হরি, ভক্ত বংশ সকলি পুরায়। গৌর শিক্ষা কৃষ্ণ নাম, সংকীর্তন অবিশ্রাম। সর্বশ্রেষ্ঠ তাহাই ভজন। बोलो कृष्ण भज कृष्ण, करो कृष्ण भजन कृष्ण। बोलो कृष्ण भज कृष्ण, करो शिखा भजन कृष्ण। संबंध विधेय प्रयोजन, संबंध विधेय प्रयोजन। व्रजे जारे कांदाइए, अंतराले लुकाइए। प्रेम रस कोइलो आस्वादन। एबे तार भाव लये फिरे कृष्ण अन्वेषिए। विप्रलम्ब रसे निमग्न, नीलम्बुदि तटे गोरा। केंदे केंदे हनसार, राधा भावे सदा विभावित। कहाँ कृष्ण प्रेम, कहाँ कृष्ण प्राणदान। बोले झरे दो नयन, कहाँ कृष्ण प्राणदान। बोले झरे दो नयन, मोहु मुहुर हन मूर्छित। ओ मोहु मुहुर हन मूर्छित। गंभीराय रात्रि दिने, स्वरूप रामानंद सने। महाभावे चित्त कर कर, प्रबोधेन तार जत। व्यथ बाड़े द्विगुणित, धैर्य नाही मानये अंतर। कृष्ण प्रियतम राधा, तार प्रेमे कृष्ण बांधा। से प्रेम करिते प्रचार। स्वयं कृष्ण दयामय, गौर लीला प्रकटय। स्वयं कृष्ण दयामय, गौर लीला प्रकटय। धन्य कली सर्व युग सार। जय धन्य कली युग की जय। से प्रेम लव पाए नाम संकीर्तन होय, श्री मुखे कहेन गोरामणि। स्वरूप राम रायर कंठ धरि कन गौर कृष्ण निराशाय आश्वासेर वाणी। दिनहीन प्रति आर एत दया कोताकार, असाधने देन चिंतामणि। अजाच के प्रेम जाचे, उच्च नीच नाही खाचे। अजाच के प्रेम जाचे, उच्च नीच नाही खाचे। भज गौर चरण दुखानी, श्री नाम भजने होय गौर कृपा अतिशय। अपराध शीघ्र दूरे जाय, कृष्ण प्रेम उपजय। जीवन सार्थक होय, लीला रसे अधिकार पाय। पुराईते मनस्काम, सर्वशक्तिधर नाम। अघटन घटाईते पारे, विश्वास करिया तारे। जे बाश्रय नीते पारे, जेवाश्रय नीते पारे। नाम प्रभु उद्धरये तारे। अवतार शिरोमणि, श्री गौरांग गुणमणि। गौरमन गौरापद सार, भजन साधन हीने। केतारिबे गौरवीने, क्षमा गुण एतो आचे कारो। क्षमा गुण एतो आचे कारो। कत जन्मेर अपराधी, पापी तापी मूढ़मती। माया मोह मुक्त जीवाधाम, हेनो अपदार्थ जाने। रक्ष गौर निज गुणे, हो गति चरम परम। श्री गुरु वैष्णवे मति, ना जन्मिल एक रति। अपराध करी कत शत, आमार की हबे गति। भाबिया ना पाए स्थिति, किसे हबे अपराध हत। किसे हबे अपराध हत। श्री गौरांग दयामय, कृप दृष्टि जदि होय। तबे आशा होय तरिबार। श्री गुरु वैष्णव मोरे, प्रसन्न होइते पारे। श्री गुरु वैष्णव मोरे, प्रसन्न होइते पारे। दीते पारे सेवा अधिकार, दीते पारे सेवा अधिकार। गुरु कृपा नाही होले, गौर कृष्ण कृपा नाही मिले। भजन साधन वृता होय, अंतराय नाही जाय। परे परे बाधा पाए, केहो नाही तारे संभाषय। लांछना कंजना पाड़े, अषड रिपु नाही छाड़े। वृत्त वही मोरे देहो भार। शांति नाही एको खोने, कृष्ण चिंता नाही मने। दीवानिशी करे हाहाकार। दैवी गुणमयी माया, अतिशय दुरत्याज्या। कार शक्ति तारे जिनिबार। श्री कृष्ण प्रपन्न होले, माया जय अवहेले। कृष्ण कृपा सर्व फलाधार। गौर कृपा करो मोरे, रक्षा एबी पर गोरे। स्थान दाव चरणे तोमार। तब निज जन संगे, राखो मोरे सेवा रंगे। तब निज जन संगे, राखो मोरे सेवा रंगे। नाम रसे करो मातोवार, ओ नाम रसे करो मातोवार। গাহিতে গাহিতে নাম গুছে যাবে জড় কাম, অপরাধে চলে যাবে দূরে। হানি তাই বলে কেঁদে কাতরে জানাবো পরে, হানি তাই বলে কেঁদে কাতরে জানাবো পরে, নিতাইয়ের দয়া হবে মোরে, নিতাইয়ের দয়া হবে মোরে। জড় বিষয় বাসন যাবে, হৃদয় নির্মল হবে, চিন্ময় বৃন্দাবন দর্শন পাব। শ্রী গুরু বৈষ্ণব কৃপা হবে মোর নিশি দিবা, যুগল কীর্তি উপজব। স্বরূপ রঘুনাথ করিবেন আত্মসাৎ, নিজ যুত সঙ্গে মিলাইবে। যুগল ভজন রীতি জানাবেন করি প্রীতি, যুগল ভজন রীতি জানাবেন করি প্রীতি, অষ্টজামা সেবা শিখাইবে। রূপানুগ ভক্ত সঙ্গে কৃষ্ণ কথা রস রঙ্গে, কৃষ্ণ লীলা স্থান নিরাখিব। দ্বাদশ বন উপবনে, দ্বাদশ বন উপবনে, যে যে লীলা যে স্থানে, সে স্থানে গড় গড়ি দিব, সে স্থানে গড় গড়ি দিব। শুনিব সাধুর মুখে সেই স্থান মহিমা সুখে, ব্রজভূমি নিত্য লীলা স্থান। অদ্যাপি সে সব লীলা হতেছে রাখালো মেলা, হরিতেছে গোপী মন প্রাণ। নিত্য দাম বৃন্দাবন পরিকর নিত্য হন, রাসাদি অন্বয়ে নিত্য লীলা। असुर मारन आदि नैमित्तिक लीला रीति, व्यतिरेके लीला पुष्टि कोयला। जड़ विषयांत चक्षु बोले दर्शन नहीं मिले, अप्राकृत से लीला विलास। गुरुदेव कृपा कोले दिव्य नेत्र तबे कोले, गुरुदेव कृपा कोले दिव्य नेत्र तबे खोले, नित्य लीला हन स्वप्रकाश, नित्य लीला हन स्वप्रकाश। आजियो वाशिर गान यमुनार बहाय उजान, स्थावर जंगम धर्म पाय। भक्त प्रेमे बाधा कानु, বাজায় মোহন বেনু, ধেনু লয়ে আজ গোঠে যায়। আজ ওষে ত্রিভঙ্গ ভঙ্গিম ধাম, পিতাবাস অনুপম, শিরে শিখি পিঞ্চ শোভা পায়। অধরে মুরলি শোভে, ব্রজ গোপী মনোলোভে, বংশী গান ও বংশী গানে গোপী রে মাতায়। নব ঘন শ্যাম কান্তি, গল দেশে বৈজয়ন্তী, বংশীবত মূলে শ্যামরায়। কর্ষিয়া বাঁশির গানে গোপী গানে বনে টানে, কর্ষিয়া বাঁশির গানে গোপী গানে বনে থানে, গোপীনাথ গোপী সঙ্গ ছায়। শিরা সরসিক বর রাধা প্রাণ মনোহর, যুগল কিশোর গিরিধারী। শ্রী রাধা বল্লভ শ্যাম, শ্রী রাধা রমণ রাম, শ্রী রাধা বল্লভ শ্যাম, শ্রী রাধা রমণ রাম। ব্রজবধূ গান চিত্ত হরি। ও হা হা দীন দীনবন্ধু দীননাথ শ্রীমতী রাধিকা সাথ এ দাসের উরু কৃপা করি অযোগ্য যোগ্যতা দিয়া অপরাধ ঘোচাই অযোগ্য যোগ্যতা দিয়া অপরাধ ঘোচাইয়া নিত্য সেবায় করো অধিকারী নিত্য সেবায় করো অধিকারী গৌর বিনা ব্রজে হেরি গৌর গুণ লীলা স্মরি ব্রজে কৃষ্ণ লীলা আস্বাদিব শ্রী গৌর করুণা হবে রাধা কৃষ্ণ সেবা দিবে শ্রী গৌর করুণা হবে রাধা কৃষ্ণ সেবা দিবে যথা কালে দেহ ত্যাগিব যথা কালে দেহ ত্যাগিব শ্রী গৌর করুণা হবে রাধা কৃষ্ণ সেবা দিবে শ্রী গৌর করুণা হবে রাধা কৃষ্ণ সেবা দিবে যথা কালে দেহ ত্যাগিব যথা কালে দেহ ত্যাগিব Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Sachinandan Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jai Gaura Hari Jai Sachinandan Jai Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jai Gaura Hari Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Navadvipa Jaya Vrindavana Navadvipa Jaya Vrindavana Jaya Navadvipa Vrindavana Navadvipa Jaya Vrindavana Jaya Swapashara Gaura Hari Swapashara Jai Gaura Hari Jai Swapashara Jai Gaura Hari Swapashara Jai Gaura Hari Jaya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Jaya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Jai Swapashara Śrīla Prabhupada Swapashara Śrīla Prabhupada Jai Swapashara Śrīla Prabhupada Swapashara Śrīla Prabhupada Jai Bhakti Pramoda Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Bhakti Pramoda Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Jai Bhakti Pramoda Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Bhakti Pramoda Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Jai Bhakti Pragyan Śrīla Keshav Gosvāmī Bhakti Pragyan Śrīla Keshav Gosvāmī Bhakti Pragyan Śrīla Keshav Gosvāmī Jai Bhakti Pragyan Śrīla Keshav Gosvāmī Jai Bhakti Rakshaka Śrīla Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Bhakti Rakshaka Śrīla Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Jai Bhakti Rakshaka Śrīla Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Bhakti Rakshaka Śrīla Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Jaya Bhakti Daita Śrīla Madhav Gosvāmī Bhakti Daita Śrīla Madhav Gosvāmī Jaya Bhakti Daita Śrīla Madhav Gosvāmī Bhakti Daita Śrīla Madhav Gosvāmī Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Jai Gurudeva 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 Jai Gurudeva Jai Gurudeva 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 Jai Gurudeva Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, everybody. Wow, wasn't that such an amazing kirtan? Oh my God, thank you so much for, I think last year Rukmini Didi shared that with me. Such a treasure. Yeah. And also thanks, all of today's reading, everything was all thanks to Devamayī Mātājī. This is all her biography, her translation of the song. And actually, ultimately, it's not Devamayī Mātājī, because she did it with the, like it's by the mercy of Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Maharaj, who empowered her to so nicely do this beautiful biography and do all this wonderful publication work of Śrīla Gosvāmī Maharaj's and Śrīla Bhakti Purī Gosvāmī Maharaj's, the biography of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, all this. So, yeah. Haribol. Kishore Prabhu, would you like to do the... Oh, actually, just before, I'm just curious who's all here. I just want to quickly check, see if anybody actually stuck around, because we went on very late today. Oh, wow, everybody stayed. Oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you so much for Haribol Chandramukhi Didi and Govinda Saha. And oh God, so many people. I'm not going to say everybody's name. There's so many devotees. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Mahi Bharat Prabhu. Hare Krishna. All right, Kishore Prabhu, could you do the Jaidwani?
Yes, but before anyone leaves, I highly recommend, and whoever has time, that they watch Bhakti Pramoda Purī Maharaj, The Art of Sadhana, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3.
On YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube. It's available on YouTube.
Okay, go to youtube.com, type in The Art of Sadhana, and see Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 by Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī. Okay, I'll check that out.
Nectar, complete nectar. Bhakti Pramoda Purī Maharaj speaking on the first three shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam. Complete nectar.
Wow. Okay, we'll definitely check it out. Okay, great. Awesome. All right, Kishore.
Jai Sabrikar Shishi Gurga Oranga Gan Harivika Girid Hari Gopinath Radha Vinod Bihari Radha Nainath Radha Raman Bihari Radha Marva Shri Shri Mahaprabhu Radha Gopinath Ju Ki Jai Jai Sri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mahan Ju Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Paramaham Sabre Brajacharya Variasto Trashta Shishiman Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosvāmī Guru Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Paramaham Sabre Brajacharya Variasto Trashta Shishiman Bhakti Vedanta Srila Narayan Gosvāmī Maharaj Patipavan Gurudev Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Balabtirtha Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Viran Vaman Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Virantar Vikram Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Virantar Swami Gosvāmī Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Daita Maru Gosvāmī Param Guru Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Maharaj Param Gurudev Sarikesari Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shri Shriman Jagadguru Shri Varshabhana Vidaita Jagadguru Shri Shriman Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Thakur Ki Jai Jai Jagadguru Shri Shriman Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Thakur Ki Jai Jai Jagadguru Shri Shriman Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Thakur Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shri Shriman Jagadguru Shri Varshabhana Vidaita Das Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Paramahamsa Paramahamsapad Shishimar Gaur Kishore Das Bhavashī Mahārāja Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupad Saptam Gosvāmī Stotrashta Shishimad Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahārāja Ki Jai Jai Nityalela Pravishtam Vishnupar Vaishnav Sarvoma Stotrashta Shishimad Jagannadas Bhavashī Mahārāja Ki Jai Surya Kundavasi Srishila Madhusudandas Bhavashī Mahārāja Ki Jai Sri Udavaras Udarandas Ki Jai Vedanta Chari Shalabali Vibhushan Prabhu Ki Jai Mahamahobadhyaya Rasikshyaramane Shala Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur Par Ki Jai Shala Rasikanand Murari Prabhu Ki Jai Shala Ramachandra Kaviraj Ki Jai श्री लोचनदास ठाकुर की जय, श्री नरहरि शंकर ठाकुर की जय, जय श्री नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्राय की जय, जय श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय, यशवतार हरिका विशल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय, श्री अष्टकविराज वसुर जानव नित्यानंद दुर्शक बाल श्री चौषति महंत की जय, जय श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट रास रघुनाथ सर्गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय, श्री स्वरूप दामोदर यमुनंद लोकनाथ गर्भ अधि गौर परिसार वृंद की जय, नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, शिल ईश्वरपुरी गोस्वामी पार की जय, शिल मारविंद्रपुरी गोस्वामी पार की जय, श्री अंतरद्वीप मायापुर सिमंदीप गोद्रुमदीप मध्यदीप कलुदीप ऋतुदीप चानुदीप मातृद्रुमादीप रुद्रादीप मात्मक श्री नावदीप धाम की जय, श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय, श्री गौर श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जय, श्री गौर चंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री श्री गौर गदाधर की जय, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ गोपी गोपा गो गिरि गोवर्धन षट्वनात्मक श्री ब्रज मंडल धाम की जय, श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंगा सखी यमुना सखी तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय, वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी ठाकुरानी की जय, श्री ललिता विशाख चित्र चंपकलता तुंग विद्या इंदुलेख रंगदेवी सुदेवी आदि सखी वृंद की जय, श्री आनंद प्रेम मंजुलाली श्री रूप लवंग राग विलास गुणरति कस्तूरी कमल नयमणि अरि मंजारी वृंद की जय, श्री विनोद मंजरी की जय, श्री पलश मंजरी की जय, श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय, श्री भगवती पूर्णमासी योगमाया देवी की जय, श्री गोपीश्वर श्री शिव महादेव की जय, श्री चित्र सखी आविर्भाव महामहोत्सव की जय, जय श्री राधा परंकित धाम श्री वृंदावन की जय, श्री वृंदा पूर्णमास विश्वर की जय, श्री वृंदावन की जय, जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमाधव जीव की जय, श्री जगन्नाथपुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय, श्री तोट्ट कपिनाथ की जय, सर्वा विघ्नामिनश्यन् करे भक्त विघ्नामिनाश श्री नृसिंह देव की जय, भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्री प्रहलाद लक्ष्मेंद्र सिंह देव की जय, श्री छरिदाम चरि संप्रदाय चर्याचार्य की जय, श्री मध्वारमनुज विष्णु स्वामी नंबरित्याचार्य की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, अकर्मतरा श्री चैतन्य मार की जय, श्री गौरी मार वृंद की जय, ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भगवताम भगवद्गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भगवत चैव धर्म आदि सर्व गौरीय वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय, त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय, त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन युग धर्म की जय, श्री राधा गोपीनाथ नाम की जय, त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलयुग तर्क ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, महामंत्र की जय, श्री आनंद कुरी वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री समगत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रदीप तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति विलास तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सर्वस्व गिरि गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति स्वरूप पर्वत गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति हृदय भवन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रकाश अरण्य गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति गौरव वैखानस गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति विचार जयावर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति शरंग गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति द्वैत माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् कृष्णदास बाबूजी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति कुमुद संत गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति कमाल मधुसूदन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सौरभ भक्ति सार गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, Shishimad Bhakti Swarup Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shishimad Bhakti Aloka Paramahamsa Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shishimad Bhakti Vaibhava Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shishimad Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shishimad Krishna Keshwadas Brahmachari Prabhu ki jai. Shishimad Jagat Bandhu Bhakti Ranjana Prabhu ki jai. Shishimad Madan Mohan Das Arikari Prabhu ki jai. Shishrimad Bhakti Balab Tirtha Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shishimad Bhakti Vibhud Badayan Goswami Maharaj ki jai. जय जगत गुरु नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णु पार अष्टोत्तरस्त श्री श्रीमाद महामहोपदेशक प्रत्यविद्यलंकर श्री श्रीमाद भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाशय की जाय। शिल भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाशय की जाय। तनापि सुनिचैन हेन श्लोक प्रकाश विग्रह जगत गुरु श्री श्रीमाद भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाशय की जाय। परमा दयाल शिल भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी ठाकुर की जाय। परमा करुणमय शिल भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी ठाकुर की जाय। जय जय श्री श्रीमाद भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज परम शिक्षक गुरु महाराज की जय। I, the Guru of the three worlds, Shri Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Thakur ki jai. Shubha Avirbhav Maha Mahotsav Shila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Thakur ki jai. Shri Gopinath Acharya Dev Shri Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Thakur ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hare Hare Bo. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyaye Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhu Bhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandava pranams to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol, everybody. Dandava pranams. There's so many people today, so I'm not gonna do pronounce everybody individually, but yeah, thank you all so much for joining, and I hope you'll also be able to join tomorrow for the reading for the next chapter. What is it? The Traveling Years of Srila Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami Maharaj from this amazing book, A Life of Devotion. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, hope to see you for that. I gotta quickly take off to. I'm gonna take some prasad and then go to Mayapur, to Sri Gopinath Godia Mat, for a huge festival that they're having there. The main festival is in Jagannath Puri this year for the 125th Vyas Puja, but they're also going to have a big festival there in Mayapur at his Samadhi, so I'm going to go for that. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. It was really nice to read with all of you. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Just quickly checking the comments. Okay, they're talking about that. Okay, yes, I will offer pranams at his Samadhi, and I'll try to offer pranams for all of you also at his Samadhi, for everybody. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Dandavat pranams. Ending the video now. Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Shri.